Oh, hey there. So I'm gonna just do a little jam on my Novation Circuit here. It's just like a doodle. I got a new camera and I'm trying to learn this whole YouTube thing. And, maybe we'll have some fun, talk about music and making music and gear and whatever else is kind of going on. Right now I'm just setting up real basic, beat here. The bass drums on the 1s and the 3s and the snares on the 2s and the 4s, just to kind of give myself like a metronome. I start my jams in a lot of different ways. This is one way. Now I'm going to try and just come up with a little simple bass line. The circuit automatically quantizes that, thankfully. This isn't exactly what I had in mind, maybe, but I didn't have much in mind, to be honest. This sounds alright. Add a little swing. And I'm going to try to find a better sound for it. And this is how I often work with the circuit. I find that the circuit's more about like kind of exploring and then letting it kind of guide your what you're doing, rather than so much you go in with a real set idea and then you can make it on here. It's not that kind of machine, but I kind of like that about it. It really is like a sketch pad. So I'll try different sounds, and then I'll mess with the knobs, and I don't know if you know much about the circuit. But, you don't really know what each of the knobs does for each patch. They're macro knobs. They can control multiple parameters at once. It's part of setting up a patch, which you do in software. I'm running the factory patches on the synth here. I have actually a sample pack I just loaded from another YouTuber and circuit user, Terkith. I don't know if that's how he pronounces his name, but I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. Just kind of a more usable set of drums to load in. It's a nice 64 set pack of just usable drum sounds. I just downloaded it. It seems pretty cool so far. That's what I used here. So here I found kind of a cool sound with kind of an envelope, kind of a cool envelope filter going on it. Kind of a wow. I like those. Now I'm going to mess with some drums, fatten up this beat, which is just a placeholder anyway, really a metronome. And this is kind of a new technique I've been working with. They call it sample flipping. It's part of the 1.4 firmware, which has been out for a while. It was out when I got my circuit, and I had to update it, but it was out. And basically it records what you're playing and the pads that you're playing it on, which really you can do that on all 4 tracks really, and you can really layer some interesting beats that way. So it's something I've really been messing around with. How can I really exploit sample flipping to its fullest on the drum tracks? So here I'm doing a little hi-hat thing, obviously. This whole session I kept, I think, just 1 bar. Really just a 1-bar jam, just messing around. Like I say, sometimes I'll have 8 bars. Sometimes I'll just have the 1. I think I kept this to 1. We'll see. I did this earlier, obviously. So I'm just messing around. Here I deleted the metronome placeholder that I had, and now I'm going to try to record a real bass drum, snare drum, looking for some good patches. And, kind of inspired to do this. There's a lot of YouTubers out there kind of recording themselves making music. I think I really have gotten into watching like different guys make music. The process I find interesting, how we all approach making music differently, and how our instruments and everything affect that. You know, personally, I'm a jazz musician primarily. I play the bass. Okay, I'm not amazing, but I'm okay, and it's not my profession. Professionally, I'm a computer programmer, technical manager, but you know, this is what I do for fun. I played music since I was in my teens. I'm in my 40s now, and you know, I've really been having a lot of fun with the circuit. It's really like just a cool little sketchbook you can just grab and throw on the headphones. The speaker's really pretty useless. Throw on the headphones, and you know, always had batteries loaded in it. The battery life is great, and I just keep it by the couch, and you know, grab it and record a little beat. Spend 15 minutes like this, just messing around. You know, it's cool. And I save them. I save them into Cubase as stems. Maybe I'll do a video about how that works. It's pretty cool stuff. You know, another inspiration of mine is Peter Draws. I've been watching Peter Draws a lot. I don't know if you watch Peter's channel. I'll try to remember to put a link down there for him too. You know, he doodles primarily and talks, usually a voiceover like this. He talks about, you know, art, how he doodles, and the pens he uses, and all that kind of stuff. And also he talks about what he's thinking. I think it's kind of a cool format, I think. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I also watch Mark Crilly. He does a similar thing, although he draws more cartoony, kind of recognizable stuff. Peter's much more abstract. And I watch Cuckoo. You know, his videos are great. I really enjoyed almost every one of his videos. Patreon sponsor his. Not a big sponsor, but what the heck, right? And yeah. So here I got some pretty good rhythm going with my bass line, and I'm going to look for some kind of a keyboard line to put on top of it now. That's the idea. You know, obviously it might not be obvious, the circuit, you could map this keyboard to a bunch of different scales. They have a number of choices. I use those a lot, but I've been trying to use the chromatic keyboard here more. It's better for me as a musician, I think, to force myself. But as you can see here, the keyboard's not my first instrument. I do find this layout, although it looks intuitive for someone who knows how to play the keyboard, I find this layout slightly confusing because the top row is not offset from the bottom row of keys. The black keys are actually on top of white keys rather than between white keys, and you kind of have to remember which direction they're shifted over, which I still have trouble doing, so I'm trying to work on that. Do here, thinking you know what, this was a 2-bar pattern maybe. Yeah, that's a little longer than 1 bar. I lied. It's okay. Happy accidents. Also a big Bob Ross fan. You know, this is kind of how Bob did it too, although he talked while he was doing it. I would like to talk while I'm doing it. The technical setup for that is a little more than I have the setup for right now. And I think it might be distracting from the creative process to try to talk It's already a little distracting setting up the camera and just knowing that it's running, although I was really trying to ignore it. So here's another technique that I use on the circuit fairly frequently, which is to layer multiple parts on the same synthesizer. So you pick one of the polyphonic sounds, and here I've got that like kind of chord thing going on. I just layer this, higher up little kind of stringy sounding part on top of it, all on the same synth. And, make it sound like you've got more to work with than you really do on here. You've got two synths and 4 sample parts essentially. Which is not bad, you can do a fair amount with it, but it's fun to try to get as much as you can out of it. I usually wait until the end to add effects like I'm doing here, and reverb and delay. Seems like I usually end up with similar settings on these guys. Well, that was it. Hope you liked it.